Welcome to another episode of our Mental Health Moments. My name is Linda Gallick. I'm the Health and Wellbeing Consultant at Amplify Health by Bellin. And today, joined by our two amazing licensed behavioral health therapists, Michaela Vandenboom and Hannah Bauer. Hi, ladies.
Hello.
Hello. Good to see you. Good to see you. So today, I really want to talk about this idea of work-life integration, and we're doing a Lifesaver campaign on this in 2026, and we are calling it Permission to Coexist. Permission to Coexist. Probably just about everybody on this earth has to try to work and have a life. And some people may say work is life, and certainly it is a part of it for sure. But most of us probably differentiate between this is the stuff I have to do at work, and then this is the rest of my life and my time. And just a little statistic for all of you watching, we will spend more time at work in our lifetime than we do anywhere else, except sleeping. So the majority of your waking hours in the United States of America, anyway, will be at work. And so it's really important to consider what that looks like. And especially when it comes to our mental health, how do we make sure that we're taking care of ourselves so that our work hopefully is not negatively impacting our negative health? So let's start with this idea, that used to be work-life balance, but I stopped using that phrase a while ago because to me, it's like a teeter-totter, right? And I don't think we never have work and life in perfect balance, do we?
No.
Probably not. And if you do, please write a book about it because I want to read it. So first of all, ladies, is it normal? Is it healthy? Is it the true human condition that we bring life to work and we take work into life?
Yes.
Again, if you could have a clear separation, write a book about it.
Yes.
Yeah. And I think if that was really something that came more to life during COVID, that we saw that a little bit more and it got highlighted a bit more. And I think now it's more of a common thing to talk about. So when you think about somebody that is truly struggling with the integration, with the balance, whatever we want to call it, what does that look like? What does that look like in one of your patients or in some of the folks that you've seen over the years?
I see a lot of the times that they're just focusing on one task or one part of their life, one aspect over the other. So it's either work is going to be my primary focus and I'm going to stress out about all those things, all things work consume me, or it's the opposite and it's all everything outside of that, which is impacting their ability to get their work done or hold a job, get to work, whatever that might be, and not being able to pick and choose and kind of have that fluid balance or integration of both of those things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I almost think of it almost like, like a zipper where like it's gonna bleed, it's gonna be like in and out a little bit, but the goal is to kind of know where those boundaries are and like not have the unrealistic expectation that like work completely stays at work and then home you're a completely different person, because that's not how it works. So once that expectation not necessarily gets lower, but is just different, and you can be more realistic about what it means to be a working adult, then it's just a little bit easier to accept, like, okay, like, I'm gonna get this done here, and yeah, I have these things planned with like my family, but if I can do this, then I can like comfortably kind of shut down that little part. Still going to be there, but you don't have to feel guilty about that and spending time with family. And then vice versa, if there's things that are going on in your personal life, of course you can bring that to work, and you don't have to feel bad about it. You don't have to feel like you're not doing enough. You don't have to feel like you're somehow behind and everyone else has it together. It's more so accepting, like, this is human nature. I'm not doing anything wrong. Everything blends into everything else. I just have to, find ways to cope and address this appropriately.
Then what do you think, like, what does it look like when somebody does have kind of a decent, integration of the two? What does that look like? What are we What are we kind of striving towards to have it? Because you want to be the good worker and you want to be driven, you want to be focused, but you also have this other part of your life where you're a mom, you're a daughter, you're a sister, you're a niece, you're a part of, XYZ community group. Like, what does that really look like if we're doing it well?
I think it varies from profession to profession, number one. So taking that into consideration, there's certain professions where you strictly have to leave work at work because that's the only place that stuff gets done. So
Mhm.
prioritizing that, having those, the fluid boundaries, being flexible with that when it comes to your personal life. And then vice versa, if you can have more of that freedom to kind of integrate work into your day-to-day life and your schedule and maybe having more non-traditional work hours, that is a good way to blend that dynamic. Remembering that it's not always going to be a 50-50 split. And whatever
Mhm.
decision that you are making to prioritize your time versus like work or home doesn't have to be a forever set thing too. Like, oh, if you're going to take some time and maybe cut back some hours, but still get your expectations and your job done, maybe during a time period in your life where you're having children, raising kids. And then once you transition into that, you can jump more into like your career path too. It doesn't have to be a forever decision. So being comfortable with advocating for that and working with your employer and working with the rest of your family too and your support group outside of work.
Yeah, I just saw a podcast too where someone's like, it's the question isn't like, can you have it all? Because you can, just not all at
Mhm.
once. So it's just kind of understanding like it's got to be that constant, it's a constant give and take and it's constantly readjusting and like what kind of a worker do I want to be and how do I have the capacity to do that if I also want to have this, stable home life or stable personal life and all these other things and just figuring out like what can I let go of, what can I maybe put to the future and that's something I can work towards when, maybe things are just a little bit more straightforward or simpler. You can do whatever you want. It's just you can't do it all at one time. And the expectation that you can is setting yourself up for disappointment.
And I think it's once again kind of a really good reminder for all of us to remind ourselves that we don't have to try and be superhuman either. We are human beings and there are limitations to what we can do. And so if there is one more work project that is coming your way, you may want to question it and you may want to voice that
Mhm.
you don't have the capacity for it. Same thing in your personal life. If they've asked you to make cupcakes for another bake sale and you just do not want to stay up until midnight to make
Mhm.
that happen, or you
Yes.
don't, you don't have the time to run to the bakery and get them or whatever it is, it's okay. It's
Mhm.
okay to say no. And set some boundaries. I think that continues to be really one of our biggest themes in conserving our mental health, isn't it? Is that we have to know the boundaries that work for us. And I think it's also important not to compare yourself to other people because, yes, there may be somebody out there that requires very little sleep, that is working full time, working on their PhD, making homemade cupcakes for the sale, and has a
Mhm.
perfectly clean home. Maybe they do, but that doesn't mean that has to be you,
Yes.
right?
Hmm.
I think, yeah, that comparison thing gets us. That gets us
Yes.
sometimes, doesn't it?
Yes, because I mean, we only see what then we want to see or what other people are willing to show us. And of course, that's not the whole picture. That's not the whole truth. So comparing just doesn't, everyone's doing their best and that's going to look different. And you don't have to feel like you have to keep up with anyone because for what? What's the prize at the end? You're burnt out, but your life looks similar, then you can't even enjoy it.
Right.
Or setting the standard or expectation for yourself from somebody else's perspective. I mean, I know like if
Yes.
you're new in something outside of work, if you're doing something in work, you probably want to set like, hey, I can show you that I can do this, have the expectation. But
Hmm.
the longer you're in something, the more confident you're going to be to say, this is my limit, these are my boundaries, these are the things I will do or won't do,
Yes.
or this is how I can show up in both aspects of my life the way I
Hmm.
want to.
Hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, don't forget too that you're surrounded by human beings that are also trying to do the exact same thing. So even if somebody does look superhuman to you, you don't know what their experience
Right.
is and what they're trying to manage and how they're trying to integrate all the things that
Mm-hmm.
they might have going on. So what do you think then are your like what would be your top tips for how somebody just continues to attend to their mental health while they're trying to do all of the things that life requires? What are your top tips to try and just keep that going, but really preserve your mental health along the way?
I mean, the biggest one that I was gonna say is like it doesn't have to be an equal split. Like you just because you
Mm-hmm.
committed to it now doesn't mean you have to. It doesn't. It's not a forever thing. You
Right.
can show up if life allows you to show up in either aspect now, but if that's not the same case in a month from now and 6 months from now, you don't have to live up to that expectation.
Yeah. I mean, the biggest thing I tell people is like, it might look like all these adults have it all figured out and they're showing up and they know exactly what to do with their job, but like literally everyone is just an adult doing their best. No one has it figured out. Everyone's going to make mistakes. Everyone's going to show up in one aspect and maybe let certain things slack in others, and there are no rules, right? So like your only obligation is to yourself, right? So take care of yourself, show up to work, but if you can't, then you can't. And you're going to have to acknowledge that and take care of yourself so that you can continue to show up when it's necessary. But there's no rules. No adult is perfect. No one has it all perfectly put together. And if they do, again, you're not, it's not real. Like something's giving somewhere that maybe we don't recognize, but like just do your best. That's it.
Too, as I've gotten older, I let go what I can let go. And what I mean by
Mm-hmm.
that is if the laundry is in a laundry basket for the majority of week and it does not get put away, who
Mm-hmm.
cares?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Or if I get takeout rather than cooking dinner because I just decide I want to wash the windows or something, still a
Mm-hmm.
win because I got the windows washed.
Yes.
Mhm.
Like sometimes you
Yes.
just have to let go what you can let go.
And really simplify, like, what is the goal? Like, is the goal to eat? Okay, then who cares where the food comes from? Right? Is the goal to have clean clothes? Yes. Okay, so who cares if it's folded and put away? Like you're covering the basics. The details don't have to matter as much.
Doesn't have to be all or nothing.
Yeah.
Mm. Those were some of the things I learned when I was working full time. I was going back to school for a degree. My fiance and I at the time were building a house and I was planning a wedding. And so I literally it was insane. But I literally learned during that time, it almost was good training for me because I learned what mattered
Mm-hmm.
and what didn't matter.
Mhm.
And
Mm-hmm.
there were a lot of like things that I was spending my time on that maybe at the end of the day didn't really matter and it didn't really do anything for me in a positive way. So that was some of the stuff that I kind of got rid of along the way, and that actually taught me a thing or two. And you don't have to put laundry away. I mean, it's nice if you do, but
Mm-hmm.
you don't
Right.
have
But you
to.
don't have to. There's no rules. See? Like,
There's no rule.
yeah.
There's no rule. Well, awesome conversation. I think it's just forever a reminder for us all to know there is no perfect balance. We're all doing the best that we can. We need to give ourselves grace because it is hard and there is a lot going on and we are juggling a lot of things. So we need to give ourselves grace and then also give those around us some grace as well,
Mm-hmm.
because chances are they are also trying to do the best they can. And so if they forgot to do something or said they were going to get you a project by the end of the day, or maybe something happened at home that they weren't able to do that, I think we can also give the people in our circles some extra grace as well. So. Well, thank you, ladies, again for joining me. Always a great conversation. Thanks to our audience for joining us. Please like, subscribe, share this podcast, and hopefully we'll see you next time. Take care, everybody.